Welcome back to Tutorial Tidbits. I'm Elizabeth St. Hilaire, and this week I'm going to show you how to create a multi-layered print on your gel press and pull it all off at once. Now, normally I teach you how to layer with separate prints on your gel press. So this is sort of a new technique. We're going to build up layers on the gel plate, let them dry, and then pull them all at once with a really good sturdy rice paper. I've got fun stamps. I've got fun texture plates. I've got fun new brayer. I've got all kinds of new art supplies. So let's go check it out. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to teach you how to pull a multi-layered textured print all at once. Now, if you know from working with me, I always talk about layering in my gel prints. That's how I achieve the deep, rich textural papers that I create. But I'm also going to show you today how to create that same effect all in one pulled print. So I'm working with my golden fluid acrylics, and I am working with a combination of highly translucent, medium translucent, and opaque colors. What does that mean? That means that these two colors, green gold and permanent green light, are the most translucent of all. You can see that there is a tick mark of paint that is on the label, and that is actually a swipe of paint. And how well you see the black tick marks through that color let you know just how translucent those two colors are. My next layer, or my next level of translucency, are the manganese blue and ultramarine blue. You can see the tick marks through these a little bit less obvious than the permanent green light and the green gold. My last two colors are going to be completely opaque. Here you don't see the black tick marks through the paint swipe at all. And so these are completely opaque colors. That means we're not going to see any layers of color through these. And so these colors need to go down last. I'm also going to be working with my own design of a foam stamp. This is called Rocks, R-O-X, and it is a foam stamp that I designed for joggles.com. The foam stamp is about 1/2 inch thick. It's easy to grab the edges with, and it's flexible, and it prints a really fun pattern. The next stamp that I have is a rubber stamp designed by me for Rubber Moon, and it is a vulcanized rubber which holds very fine detail and is virtually indestructible. So no matter how much you flex and scrub to clean, those little dots are never going to break off of a vulcanized rubber stamp. That's the benefit that the rubber has over the foam. So this is my own design with Rubber Moon, and this little gem is called Joy. I've also got a 6x6 art texture plate from joggles.com, and this is called Wild Flowers. This is flexible rubber, and it is a nice large square that we can brayer paint onto and press onto the plate, or we can brayer paint onto and pull a print right from it directly. Now, these items are from Joggles and from Rubber Moon. They are not on my Amazon shopping list, so I will give you links to these below. Every other product that I'm using is on my Amazon shopping list, which is a great art supply resource. It's divided into multiple categories such as gel printing, paint brushes, watercolors, and supplies for my online classes. And I'm going to give you a link for that resource below. I've got a new Speedball 2-inch deluxe soft rubber brayer, and I love this because it allows me to disperse small amounts of paint onto my gel plate. And my gel plate, I've got two 8x10 gel press monoprinting plates. I'm going to use this one as a mixing palette, and I'm going to use the one on the left to be the actual plate that we pull the print from. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is go with my most translucent paint. That's the green gold, and I'm going to disperse that onto the mixing palette. And with the 2-inch brayer, I'm going to put a little bit of that just randomly onto my plate. And to clean the brayer, you're going to roll it off onto a clean piece of paper until there's no more paint transferring. The next color that I'm going to put out or use is going to be the permanent green light. So for the permanent green light, this is the next level of translucency. I'm going to roll that out on my mixing palette, and then I am going to spread it evenly onto my big brayer. So I want to make sure I get it out to all edges of my big brayer. And then I'm going to roll it directly onto my Joggles 6x6 texture plate. Make sure I get a real good coat layer of paint. Once I get a real good layer of paint onto the texture plate, I'm going to press it in sections and transfer that pattern onto the big plate. I'm going to do it in sections so I'm not covering the whole area, but rather just dispersing it in some areas. You've got to work quickly as the paint dries fast. We can always do a second coat and add a little more. I love these flowers the most. Okay, so now we're gonna roll that brayer off onto clean paper on the side. So now I've got the two most translucent colors, and they're obviously gonna go down first. And then the next translucent colors are the manganese blue and the ultramarine. But I'm gonna use the manganese as my last color to pull the whole print. So I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna be at ultramarine blue. So I'm gonna again disperse this onto the mixing plate. And here's where I'm going to use the rock stamp, press it into the ultramarine blue, and transfer it. And I'm going to put it onto the plate, moving it around into some of the areas that don't have anything on them so far. So some of the areas that haven't got any paint coverage. A little bit more. Stuff is drying quickly out here today. It's still very warm in Northern California. There we go. That's better coverage. And the same with the stamp. We're going to press that off onto clean paper off to the side until there's no more paint transferring. You really want to make sure that you keep the surface printing surface area of the stamp clean from as much paint as possible, because if this gets all crusted up with paint, it doesn't make a good impression anymore. So stamping it off until there's no more paint is a good idea, but it's also a good idea to put it into a basin of warm soapy water as soon as you can. Okay, so now I've got 3 layers of patterns and texture. The next layer of pattern and texture that I'm going to use is with the Joy stamp, and I'm going to come in with both of my opaque colors. So first, let's roll this out. Let's start with the teal. Get that onto the small brayer, and again, put that in randomly onto areas of the plate. Now I'm going to take my Joy stamp and press in to remove paint, and then shift to transfer the paint into open areas. So I'm pressing into the teal to remove paint, and then I'm transferring the paint off in areas where the teal is not. Okay, pressing that off on the side to clean it. And my last opaque layer is going to be the Titan Green Pale. And this time I'm just going to drip it right onto the plate. I'm not squeezing the bottle. I'm just tipping it and letting it drip out into small drips. And then I'm going to take the brayer and roll into the drip, which is going to give me some interesting shapes. Then I'm going to come back with my texture plate one more time and press and remove paint out of the Titan Green Pale. Pressing and removing, which adds that texture. All right, so now we've got all of our layers. We built up from the most translucent paint to the medium translucent paint to the opaque paint. And now we're going to take our medium translucent color manganese blue. We're going to coat the whole thing, and the moisture from this layer is going to cause the plate to release all previous layers. The rice paper that I'm using is from a pad. This is also going to be on my Amazon list. It's really rather thick and durable. It's much more durable than some rice papers that are very thin like tissue paper. And when you go to pull off multiple layers, they can tear. So this is my favorite rice paper for the gel plate. It is a 9x12 pad, which is the perfect size for the plate, which is 8x10. And it has a smooth side and a rough side. We're going to put the smooth side down on the plate because the smooth side is going to pull off the most paint because it gets the best contact with the plate. So we're going to take the manganese blue and we're going to give a generous layer of that over everything that we've done. And we're going to take the big brayer and spread that out over the whole plate. The moisture from the manganese blue layer is what releases all previous layers. So make sure that you use a generous layer of it so that every previous layer pulls up. So now's the moment of truth. We're going to take our rice paper, smooth side down. We're going to give it real good pressure all the way around the edges. And with the heel of the palm of our hand, and now I'm going to pull, and you can see that all of the previous layers are coming up, and that the paper is stuck or sticking, grabbing, I should say, to the plate, but not tearing, because this rice paper is very durable. And here we have this lovely, multi-layered, textured, patterned, beautiful sheet of collage paper. This is so beautiful, I might not even want to tear it up. Happy Friday, and thank you for being here. If you want to learn more gel plate techniques from me, I do have a self-study online course, Gel Plate Monoprinting for Collage Paper. I'll share that link with you below as well. And I always invite you to join me on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Elizabeth St. Hilaire. There I post full-length, in-depth tutorial videos every single week on a variety of subjects. In addition to that, I have PDF downloads, I have live streams, I have PDF book downloads that I share as well as notes, I have resources, tips and tricks, and more. More and more and more. There's so much there for you. It is a monthly subscription, but I am posting and sharing content every week, and I invite you to check it out at patreon.com/Elizabeth St. Hilaire. Thank you for being here.